All right, so here we are for the very first of what I call our monthly momentum, where I am talking to some different business owners throughout Middle Tennessee and just finding out what makes them tick, what made them get into the industry, what some strengths, some weaknesses, some challenges, and then perhaps most important, some advice that they can give to other people who are just starting out in business, and most importantly, the momentum, what keeps you going this entire time. So, starting off, the inaugural interview, and by the way, this is really casual, just very informal.
Very.
But this will be made, but this will be made into an article that will be in the Murfreesboro Pulse, and Bracken Mayo always does a great job, top notch. But you're with me, man. It's just casual. It's just a couple of fraternity brothers hanging out.
I know.
We're just talking.
I know. We've been knowing each other for a little bit.
I've known you about half my life.
Yeah. Well, seriously?
Yeah.
Man, that makes me feel old.
Yeah, well, you should. Because I'm right behind you. I
feel old right now. Thanks, Blaine. I appreciate that, dude.
Well, I'm talking to Jeff Mullins, the owner of J. Mullins Jewelers.
Yeah.
And I almost said on the square.
You're
Not on the square
no.
anymore, but used to. And if you're in Murfreesboro, you've lived here for 20, 30 years, then you will remember Mullins Jewelers that was on the square. And I just got so used to saying Mullins Jewelers on the square.
Yeah. Well, my dad retired at the, I think it was like January 3rd, January 9th, or whatever, 2010. And I went... Real estate market was very much in a slump at that time.
Tell me about it.
And I was, yeah, I know. And I wanted to get into the real estate business or the auctioneer business, and my wife goes, no.
I vaguely remember that. You were, because I've been in real estate for 20 years, and you were pumping my brain for that a little bit.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And she goes, nope, you're going to open up your own store. And I'm like,
Thank God for wives, all right?
Crap. So anyway, we've been here going on 10 years now.
Wow.
So and it's a really good feeling when your CPA goes, most businesses don't last for
That's right.
for the first year and or blah blah blah, and after about the fourth year he goes, I think you got this thing worked out. So anyway.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's kind of in the DNA. It's kind of in the blood.
Yeah.
So real fast, your grandfather started Mullins Jewelers back in 1938?
March 1st, 1938.
Wow.
James Herschel Mullins.
Wow. Okay.
One of my best buddies in the world. And learned a lot from the man.
Okay. Really?
Just a great person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at what point did your father take
He
ownership of the store?
after my grandmother passed away, that's when my dad actually bought the business from my granddad, and granddad had a lot of stuff to deal with, just getting all that stuff settled and everything, and it was a bit much for him and everything, and he couldn't handle the business aspect as long with everything that was going on, trying to get all the personal stuff settled, whether it be property and all this other stuff and everything. So he wound up selling the business to my dad.
Okay. And then he had it, and I had the good fortune of meeting your dad a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Coming into the store.
He's doing well.
And, wow, still plugging away.
He's doing well. He's in assisted living right now.
Okay.
But the end of, it was towards the end of 2009, that's when he said, I've about had enough.
Okay.
And again, I'm like...
So your dad closed shop, and I remember that you were talking about possibly buying the shop, or are you going to do something else? And I remember you bought a bunch of his cases. Didn't you buy a bunch of his display cases?
Well, I had those. What happened was when Dad went out of business, he said, "Okay, everybody get something."
Okay.
My sister got the engraving machine and all the stuff goes with it. Tim got a huge clock that was there on the side.
Okay.
And Dad says, "What do you want?" And being the type person I am, I said, "I want that big, huge safe that's in the back." so that's what I got.
You want something practical.
That's what I got out of the deal. And
well, from the time you made that decision until you actually opened up the doors here, and we're in the back room where this is where all the elves work at midnight until 5 a.m.
There's an elf on the shelf right up there.
There's an elf on the shelf right there. So this isn't the showroom, but
actually there's a hula girl right there.
There is.
And there's a jackalope.
That's classic. You got to have that.
There's a jackalope.
This is your secret magician's closet right back here.
Exactly.
But from the time you made the decision until actually opening J. Mullins Jewelers, about how long did it take?
I had diarrhea for like 8 weeks.
Just agonizing over what?
Exactly.
Okay, see, that's the beautiful thing about this interview, because that line is not going to be in the Murfreesboro Pulse.
Well,
so
I would bet that line might be in the Murfreesboro Pulse. And I'll go, I was misquoted.
So what challenges did you have to overcome when you first got started?
We were in a really horrible market at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was just like banks going out of business. Couldn't sell your house. Couldn't do this. Couldn't do that.
If somebody did get a better job, they couldn't take it because they couldn't sell their house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just, a lot of faith, a lot of roll your sleeves up, go to work type of thing. And I'm not ashamed to say it, but I mean, we made a profit the first year. We've made a profit every year since then.
That's great.
And
that's great.
But that comes with a lot of stress and everything else. But yeah, we've done it.
Yeah, that is great. What's your favorite part of running J. Mullins Jewelers? What do you love the most?
I love the people that come in.
And you can hear people laughing in the background. It's very casual. People just come in here and
I tell folks it's the New City Cafe.
Pretty much.
You come in here and it's like, "Hey, Ethel, hadn't seen you in a while. Imagine seeing you here," and everything else.
Yep.
Another thing that really kind of grabs at me is when you see folks that lack of better judgment, decide that they're going to take the plunge, and you try to be as painless as possible with them. I'm going to propose on Friday night. But that's kind of fun.
What percentage of rings do you have to buy back?
Not many. No.
Because she said no.
No, none.
No? Oh, good.
But I always tell customers, when they do the engagement ring thing, my advice is to try to get a tier, do something special.
Okay. Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, and I've got another piece of advice for them too. I said, make sure you have dinner before you give her the ring, because once you give her the ring, you're nothing more than a taxi service for the rest of the night. Got to go to this person's house, that person's house, go see mom and dad, go see his mom and dad, and everything. And so if you don't have dinner, you're not going to have any dinner then. So that's some free advice that I give folks.
What's the hardest or the most difficult aspect of maybe I mean, we could talk about just business in general, but what kind of pitfalls are there in the jewelry industry? Are there anything that the general public doesn't understand?
Well, yeah. If you buy online, you get online.
Well, okay.
And I don't get me wrong. I do the same thing myself too with certain things. But you know, you never know what you're getting. It's never the right size. And then in my business, well, in any business, you have to stay up with research and development.
Okay.
There's always new things coming around the block.
Yeah, I think diamonds, they've been around for millions of years.
Yeah.
So I mean, what else is new?
Well, now they're having lab grown diamonds.
Okay.
And by that, I mean they have the same refractive index. They have the same everything else that that a natural diamond does, but it's grown in a laboratory rather than the earth.
Okay.
Now,
are they getting harder and harder to tell the difference?
You got to have the equipment to tell the difference.
Okay.
I have refused to sell lab created diamonds.
Okay.
Same specific gravity, same refractive index, everything.
But it's not the real deal.
It's not the real deal. Now here's the thing. With in my business, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there were lab created emeralds, sapphires, rubies, and stuff like that. They were expensive.
Yeah.
Now you can buy them for little or nothing.
Okay.
De Beers is spending about $900 million to open up a facility in Washington State to make lab-grown diamonds.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They're doing that so they can put a lot of those other people that are making lab-grown diamonds out of business.
Okay. Yeah.
So they can continue.
Well, they have a history of doing that because they're
good.
Tons and tons of diamonds.
They're going to control the market no matter what.
Probably so.
So when you're paying X amount of dollars for a lab grown diamond now,
okay, it's
going to be worth less 10 years down the road than if you bought a natural diamond. That's either going to maintain.
That's a good point. Yeah, they're just going to flood the market. Okay, that's a good point. So who's your typical customer? Is it the guy trying to pick out an engagement ring?
I've got everybody. I've got from the guy that's 90 years old that needs a watch band or a battery put in his watch, to the 15-year-old guy that's wanting to spend $60 or something like that on a gift for his girlfriend. So you got to have a range of stuff for everybody. Then I also have people, that are wanting to spend some good money on high end things for anniversaries or whatnot.
Well, how do you get the word out about J. Mullins Jewelers? How do you advertise?
Advertising is an awesome thing, and there's print, there's radio, there's video, and there's everything else. But absolutely, the absolutely best word of mouth is word of mouth.
Okay.
And like I said, we've been doing this.
I think that's probably the case when you want to go to an industry where you would trust that what you're getting is good quality. Because the majority of us, we don't know. The consumer doesn't understand.
Social media has played a big part in it as well. And I'll see where it pops up. Hey, I just moved here from Montana. I need to have my ring size. Where would you take it? And you get all these responses, pop, 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 you know, and
Okay.
I come up.
So
like,
they're asking a question of people in the area, and they're
Mhm.
and those people are pointing to you, like on Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
that comes from word of mouth though, because
Yep.
they've
It does.
had the experience. So my thing is, if you come in here and you have a good experience, and we treat you right, then you're going to tell everybody else that they treated you right.
Okay.
My granddad at the end of the 8th grade, he had to go to work,
Wow.
and he was a brilliant man with an 8th grade education. He worked during the Second World War. He was a watchmaker and owned his own business.
Okay.
During the Second World War, he went to work at Seward Air Force Base, and he would work on aircraft instruments. And
Oh, okay.
during the day, my grandmother would take in repairs and let out repairs.
So he was like calibrating the old analog.
Oh yeah,
instruments just to make sure everything was.
well. Now he altimeters
correctly.
and all that
Okay.
other stuff and everything. But at night he would do the watch work and stuff at home. My
Okay.
grandmother would take them in and let them out, and they lived on what he made working on the watch repair, and they saved their money that he worked. That they got paid
Okay.
for working for the government, and that's how they bought Mr. Blackman's
Okay.
property.
Okay. And then a whole lineage of almost 100 years to you. So,
Wow.
what advice would you give to someone just starting out in business? Maybe not jewelry, but just in business in general.
In
New
business in
owners.
general, number one, you got to have the passion.
Okay.
You got to expect disappointment.
Okay.
You have to be a go-getter.
Yeah. Yeah, you talk about the disappointment, and that was something I was talking about on a morning video today. And I had heard this quote that failure is not permanent.
No,
And we've
no.
got to remind ourselves that, because
Yeah.
when you're in that setback, it's rough.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's just part of the process. I mean, nobody has a perfect anything.
yeah.
You just have to learn and keep
Okay.
learning and going from there. And when you get kicked in the rear end, you just have to pick yourself up and go, well,
Keep going.
keep
going.
I'm ready for round 2.
So, final question here is, as a business person, what gives you momentum? In other words, what inspires you?
Goals.
Okay. Tell us about your goal setting. How do you set your goals? What do you just
1
write
year.
them down, or you just have them
1
right up
year,
there?
3 year, 5 year.
Okay.
But then I try to also, and this is stupid, but I also try to forecast the future.
It's tough.
Past
to
that
do that.
and everything. But my big thing is to have as least amount of debt as I can have,
That's good.
and to make sure that the wheels still go round and round.
Okay.
And but also look at all the different avenues that I can take, multiple streams of income.
Okay.
In the business.
That's big in the 21st century. You can't just be a one-trick horse. I mean, you've got to do a little bit of everything.
You got to do it. And here's my thing. I had to learn how to separate myself out from like the chain stores. I'm not a Zales.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not a Jared's. I'm not any of that. When you come to see us, you get us.
Yeah.
We're family, and we're going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And people start out naive, but once they meet you they understand where you're coming from, especially when they learn your history and what you've been about.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to. Thank you for this interview. I look forward
buddy,
to seeing where you're going to be in the next 5-10 years from now. We'll do this again 10 years from now.
No, let's do it. Let's do it another year from now.
We might do that. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
See you, buddy. Thank you, Blaine.